Holy shit, what's that? A stream on a Monday morning? Yeah, don't expect this to repeat. I just have like the week off that I can actually take the time to do this. Because we got another Omake stream playthrough for Year of the Mecha. And it is Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation Code Fairy. Cool. How'd that happen? I simply requested to have a week off from work because, like, this Friday is my birthday. That's why. Also, hi, Arian. Glad you could arrive. Now let's get into this proper. So yeah, it's funny, like, when I was, like, planning out, like, this whole stream project, obviously I had, like, the main list in mind. But I knew that I would probably find some bonus mecha-related content I would want to stream, like, in addition to that, which is why I came up with the whole Omake label. But I had no idea at the start, like, exactly what all of those were going to be. I'd assumed one of them would have been I'd do, like, like a plamo, like a plastic model kit building, because there was one that I was wanting to get near the start of this year, but I kind of missed my window for it. Even though I pre-ordered, it got back-ordered, and then I just proceeded to use my money for other things. So, like, the Omake streams that ended up happening were the result of playing a game that I hadn't initially considered on the list, like, playing them this year, and realizing, holy shit, how did I not know this existed? The first was Steambot Chronicles, and Code Fairy is now the second one. And this one was pretty exciting for me to find because, well, I don't know. I guess explaining this would be getting a bit ahead of some of the other games on the main list. But it was more like I was lamenting the fact that there hadn't been, like, a single-player Gundam game released in the past few years for basically since the end of the PS3, I would say. Like, the kind of single-player Gundam game that I would want that was, set during UC timeline, 1 year war, preferably. And, like, the last one that came to mind was a PS3 game, and after that, the studio behind it had been working on a game known as Battle Operation, and in more recent years, its sequel, Battle Operation 2. Battle Operation 2 got a PC version earlier this year, and that version, you could just look on the Steam reviews for it and kind of see why I wouldn't really be playing it. Hell, even on the PS4 version, I wouldn't be playing it either, because it's a free-to-play multiplayer game. But it's what got me thinking, man, I wish these guys were just making, or at least gave me an opportunity to experience the gameplay system of Battle Operation without needing to play the multiplayer game. And as it turns out, they did that exactly like 2 years ago, and I just didn't notice because it was during a period of time where I simply was not using my PS4 for anything anymore. Like, after 2020 came along, and, like, all the shit with the pandemic combined with, like, Sony launching a new console, which feels more like a Pro version of a PS4 Pro, I was like, why do I fucking care about this shit anymore? Turns out I found at least one more reason to care. Because this is just BB Studio going, hey, we have this whole gameplay system for this multiplayer game that we have been maintaining for years. Let's just build a single-player campaign around it. And it's a pretty good one. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Gundam game from, like, a system standpoint, but they made it work pretty well. I'd say at least that this is a case where, especially after Saturday's stream where I showed off Gundam Senki 0081 and the production values on that, this, I think, is going to be kind of a nice follow-up to that. Because parts of how it's presented remind me of that, but also just the structure, pacing, and, like, kind of the escalation of, like, power and units that you get throughout this game also remind me of the older side story games. This feels like an honorary Gundam side story game, and that's like the highest praise I have for it. And yeah, and because like I bought this earlier this year and played through it and enjoyed it, that meant that I ended up playing through, like I just played through like the whole campaign already. So it's not going to be fresh or anything. And I've not completed everything thoroughly, as you might find, but with all the rankings that you can see right there. But let's get into Code Fairy proper. Let's see this story, yet another story set in the middle of the 1-year war. And this time we're on the side of Zeon. Now, believe me when I say it, with this game, it is very much all structured and paced out to feel as much like an anime as possible. We'll be playing it as much as we will be having a lot of character dialogue and cutscenes like this. And I do mean it's like an anime because we got a fucking opening theme to go with this as well. That plays at the start of every chapter, I should add, because, yeah, every chapter's an episode. Oh, man. This game. Yeah. Yeah, this game... that opening's pretty good. The whole game just does a really good job of, like, presenting itself the way that it does. I still think there are some aspects about, like, cutscene presentation in Senki 0081 that are a bit better, but that's just because it's a lot more ambitious with the blending of 2D and 3D elements on the screen. This is like a lot more separated, as it were. Like a lot of strictly 2D cutscenes and a lot of like strictly in-engine 3D cutscenes. And of course, because this is the 1-year war, they always have to give us the important recap. You know, like the whole setup for the space colonies, Principality of Zeon, Gear and Zabi deciding to become Space Hitler and start a war, dropping a colony, and that fucks up and then just blows up Sydney, Australia. Rip Robokai's house again. One detail I will say, though, with like some of this footage that they're using, Having played and watched a lot of like the Gundam games that are considered like the side story games that date all the way back to what Beck was making, you could see some of the footage that is reused from the CG openings of those earlier games. Like, there are some shots that are straight up from the opening CG of Zeonic Front. Which, speaking of Zeonic Front, as you can imagine, we're playing as soldiers of Zeon. And we're all part of an all-female squad. Very astute observation. The funny thing too is like, because Kaboom and I have talked about this on occasion, especially when telling him that I would be like doing a playthrough of this. And he always mentioned how, like, he had only, like, seen screenshots of the game, like, when it came to, like, these specific cutscenes, and was, like, unsure whether it was an actual Gundam, like, mecha action game, or if it was a dating sim. Because you look at these shots, and these give off, like, some pretty big, like, Persona vibes. Or at least, like, general, like, mid-budget anime game vibes. But that just are kind of, like, of this generation. Yeah, we're an all-female squad with a very derisive name associated with us. Because everyone in the Zeon military and the zombies are sexist. The only reason this was formed is because, like, the sole, like, daughter of the zombie family, like, put this shit together. I still like those touches whenever, like, they manage to have, like, a special cutaway portrait where there's a little bit of animation. It just shows, like, that much, like, it's just, like, a nice acknowledgement that they are putting effort into this, because there have been Gundam games that are quite low budget. Is the stuttering sound on my end? The sound... I think the sound is fine on my end. I'm not hearing any stuttering here. Like, maybe try, like, reloading your stream? Maybe that'll do something? Like, I'm not dropping any frames or anything. Like, the stats on OBS are reading out perfectly fine, so I think it's... I certainly hope it's not fucking up for anyone else on the other end. Oh yeah, listen to that. Listen to that, like, start menu music from Rise from the Ashes. I sound fine, but the game audio sounds jittery. Huh. I don't know, maybe deactivating and reactivating fixed it? I'm not sure. Well, regardless, let's just get into gameplay then. So yes, this game is just Battle Operation 2, but put into a single-player campaign. You got a boost, but it is extremely rigid and limited, like, in its uses. Like, you cannot change direction when you boost in a direction. It's the sort of thing that reminds me of how, because this was made for a multiplayer game in mind, there are, like, weird limitations on mechanics that they did entirely because... Could be OBS being a not cool program for once. I mean, it looks like it's being fine for me right now. Like, but if it's fine on my end, yeah, then that's probably fine. But yeah, as I was saying, it's like, there are weird mechanic limitations in the controls of this that clearly feel designed because they knew they were making a game with PvP in mind. You know? Like, if it was a game where, like, if it was a game system built around the idea that it would be used in single player explicitly, like PvE, then they probably would allow, like, a lot more freedom in how you could use, like, your verniers. But as it stands, it's like, you know, your boost only goes in one direction, and the jump is something you have to prep and is, like, something you cannot use, like, reflexively to dodge around. And also, compared to a lot of other Gundam games played on this channel before and still to follow, this is a game that has no lock-on system. It is all manual aim. Again, probably because this was a multiplayer gameplay system first. Yeah. So here's the thing that still carries over from the multiplayer, where mobile suits are basically divided into 3 different types. I guess, not necessarily classes, again, like archetypes for mobile suits in order to create, like, this sort of rock, paper, scissors dynamic, where certain mobile suits will deal more damage and stun to the other mobile suit that is of a weaker type than itself. But if it tries to go up against a mobile suit that's of a stronger type than it will do, like, reduced damage. So I guess just to sum it up, our main suit that we are piloting is a raid type, which means support is weak against us, but general is just strong against us in general. Yes, as Barbara is describing, thank you. That said, despite, like, the mobile suit's, like, strength, weakness, alignment shit, you're still gonna be in situations where you're gonna have to, like, fight against mobile suits that are stronger anyway, and you can deal with a lot of them just fine. But, they do things with the AI, with your AI partners, to try and make it, I guess, feel a little bit like you're playing a multiplayer game, like some semblance of team coordination. But it's also still kind of messy because the multiplayer was a team-based, like, it's a 5v5 multiplayer shooter. Yep. Yeah, pretty much any of those, like, sort of skills with rocket launchers you would have learned from playing Quake multiplayer, they apply to this game. But you also have to deal with the fact that, especially on a weapon like this, is that, you know, you have cooldowns in between shots, and then you have a longer cooldown when you have to reload, like, the magazine for it. So, again, limitations designed because they were expecting this system to be used for, like, PvP. Actually, you know, thinking again about like the... Because I'm still not hearing any sort of jittery audio, but one thing I am going to do while I am at it, I am just going to... Like, I'm going to reset, like, my kind of audio output to sources just to... You know, see if, you know, like, if it's still causing problems for other people on the end, maybe this will fix things. I'm not sure, but can never be too sure. Oh yeah, this is also, like, an important thing to notice. Like, R1 is for switching, but, like, you've got, like, what is basically an entire weapon wheel, but instead of selecting with the analog stick, you select it with, like, button inputs, including button combinations for, like, the diagonals. So, like, stuff that normally never gets mapped to anything, like square and triangle, or circle and X. It's quite interesting, and you can customize all of those placements however you like. So that was just a single strike. Oh, it fixed itself. Oh, thank God. Yes. I thank you for confirming that for me. I actually, yeah, because I just had the idea out in the blue that maybe it has to be something with the audio output capture that just needs that just needs a reboot. I'm glad that worked. But anyway, I just demonstrated one swing with the heat sword. Let's try combo. Oh, well, that wasn't exactly a combo hit. That was like a heavy slash, which is designed as like a knockdown. Right, like the combo, how it's supposed to work is that you first hit, and then you press the button again while pressing left or right on the analog stick. Like so. Oh yeah, and for those super long recovery animations on the melee, you actually can cancel out of them with your boost. That's at least a nice thing that the system allows for. Oh yeah, mock battle time, let's go. And this is a matchup where I am deliberately weak to the opposing mobile suit, which is to highlight that you're going to be doing this a lot. Oh wait, no, I think actually... Oh wait, no, I got it mistaken. Helena's is the... I think, like, her unit is weak because, like, it's meant to be support. It's Mia's who's the general type. Right, my mistake. Okay, so this is to our benefit. Yeah, this is basically the game plan with bazookas. You gotta... Like so. Yeah, it's all about... this. The name of the game in Battle Operation is stun, stagger, like, and just keeping that chain going as much as you can. It's made a lot easier, actually, when you know, if you have a coordinated team in the multiplayer game and are, you know, just concentrating fire on a priority target. Because then they're not able to do anything, because it's just hit after hit with, like, a stun reaction coming off of it. That said, though, we're not really going to be able to see how this game fully, like, tries to replicate that yet, because the first few chapters are all kind of... They're kind of doling out a lot of the finer mechanics over time. Like, they set this up to not overwhelm you with this shit.
強くて優しくてすっごい美人。ヘレナはツンケンしてるけど、しっかり者で本当はきっと優しい人。ミアはほんわかしてるけど、頭が良くて集中した時は別人みたい。 イルメラさんはとっても頼れそうで、バルバラさんはちょっと怖いけど、
I appreciate Alma's descriptions of all of her comrades here at the home of the fairies. I like Alma. She's like the story and the way it's presented and its focus gets a bit silly at times. But I really do like Alma's character, like, in this whole story. Like, there's specific things about her kind of like that are more apparent by the end that like, in my mind, I see it as like a kind of a more down-to-earth representation of like a group of people that like may not necessarily get the representation they really deserve like in other media because it's usually so off base. If you've heard any of like the kind of remarks me and like some of my co-coms have made about like the nature of new types and how that just might be people mistaking like neurodivergence for just the evolution of humanity, yeah, this basically stems from that.
警告に従わない場合はどうしたらいいですか？実力行使だ。撃っていいんですね。ええ、そうならないことを祈るわ。コールサインはこの通りだ。私がリーダーですか？私の一存よ。意義は？ありません。誰でもいい。やることは変わらない。では、モビルスーツ部隊のリーダーはアルマ。やれるわね。お任せください。期待しているわ。
Yeah, she's such a goof. I love it. Alright, now we're starting to get back into like more of like the relevant gameplay stuff. Starting with something that is very nice to see during pretty much every chapter is you get a actually very detailed briefing showing like the topography of your mission area and what you're expected to do. You know, like it, because that's always the thing that can feel kind of frustrating or like or very unclear, maybe. Like if you're playing like a game like this where it's mission based, is that they might give you a very vague briefing or set of objectives, but there's like no real indication of, you know, what to fully expect. Here, it's like the game will do what it can within reason for the fiction to give you very detailed instructions on what your mission is and what you need to do in which order.
それなりには頼りにしてるでね、私たち3人の間では階級とか気にせずいかない？どういうことです？言葉選びとか面倒でしょ？年も近いんだし、ブレーコーでいこうよ。考えておきます。
Yeah. So this is the menu for like customizing your mobile suit. Generally, like in each of these chapters, you do not have the option to switch out your assigned mobile suit. So you cannot change your role from like raids to general or support. But what you can do is customize, like basically choose which of the main and sub weapons you want equipped onto like your shortcuts, as well as custom parts that help like add bonuses to like your various stats. That said, though, the mobile suits that we have going in are, you know, as you can see, level 3 for me, level 2 for Helena and Mia. Like it's higher than normal because I have already played these missions and unlocked some of the bonuses for them. Because there is a level up for like your pilots when you complete missions. Love your work. Saw you on it, I say, a while back and sub to the channel. Oh, cool. Thanks, dude. Welcome to the stream, Nazgul. But yeah, the game does what it can to keep you limited to mobile suits that only would have been available during the time of the mission in story. But it doesn't stop you from, like, using higher level versions of weapons and custom parts that you've unlocked if it allows for it. Which I think is a fair compromise, because at least that gives you a better chance if you're doing replays to try and get S ranks on missions that you might not have gotten before. Well, time to fight against our own mobile suits. Your people dropped a colony on Australia. I know you weren't there in Operation British, but seriously, you're not one to fucking talk. That line just fucking kills me every time. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even their intended target, and it wasn't the entirety of the colony itself. The operation was a fuck-up. Good job, Kieran. Piece of shit. But yeah, some Federation pilots stole our mobile suits to try and like do this sort of ambush shit. So we're gonna have to fight them. Oh shit. Okay, so here's the thing with this, with the gameplay system of Battle Operation. When you do get up, is that basically when you're knocked down, kind of in an opposite of how it normally is in kind of like other games, or maybe it's kind of similar. I forget. I mostly think it in terms of fighting games, but it's like when you're knocked down, you know, you're still somewhat vulnerable. But if you get up, you'll be invincible for a set amount of time or a shorter amount of time, depending on, like, you know, if you proceed to attack again, is the idea. Like, you can see it here with this Zaku once it gets back up. You know, like, shooting a bazooka at it would be a waste because the bar, it kind of has, like, that grayish glow around it. But now that it started attacking again, the invulnerability period gets removed. But yeah, it's kind of weird because, like, normally, like, in other multiplayer games where wake up is a thing, like fighting games, it's like, you know, like, you always kind of have to worry about the fact that, like, once you get out of your wake up animation, you're immediately vulnerable and have to guess as to what your opponent's going to do next and how to respond. Here, the game is more like, nah, you go through your wake up and you're still invulnerable. But it's like, when you get knocked down, like, you always stay knocked down for, like, a very specific amount of time. There's no way to tech, like, landing on the ground. So you just kind of have to make do with the fact that you are extremely vulnerable in that knockdown phase. Again, like everything else with this gameplay system, it makes more sense when you have it in a proper multiplayer context, but in single player, it's somewhat weird, and that contributes to why it's not my favorite gameplay system for the Gundam series, even though it is still far better than a lot of, like, the other styles that have been attempted in the past and done terribly. I mean, in fact, I'd say especially with this game and its presentation, that I think because they had already, like, figured out the gameplay system for the main Battle Operation games, that just porting it into this and building a single-player framework meant they had more money to spend on production values and to really sell the narrative side of this game. Whereas, like, selling narrative wouldn't really be a focus in a multiplayer shooter. Oh yeah, and a common thing that will always happen in these chapters is that the mission is always split up into two parts. And the briefing is designed primarily to at least describe what the first half is going to be. And the second half is supposed to be like a surprise kind of shake-up for the operation. Because obviously, no plan ever survives contact with the enemy. Yep, just draw aggro. That's what we're good for. Okay, first things first. Let's run perimeter around here and take care of these tanks, just so they do not become a nuisance. Ah, fuck. Honestly, I feel like something's up with, like, my controller calibration, because I'm noticing that, like, when I'm hitting the in-between of, like, the left cardinal direction and the diagonals, that I am getting, like, I am not getting the full range of the stick. I feel like I should have done, like, a recalibration, just to make sure it was set up properly. But, it's whatever. Yeah. That's always a good bread and butter to go with, if you can. Just stagger with the bazooka when you're in, like, mid to close range. Boost forward, switch to your melee weapon. Do a melee combo until it's the final hit, and then replace that with the downward swing. And then boost cancel out of it so you can get back to a safe distance. Quite the tactician Alma is. Or at least, like, real-time tactician. Sounds complicated, but I appreciate the strategic component of combat here. Yeah, it's the sort of thing where, like, again, like, even if it's not, like, my favorite type of, like, combat for a Gundam game, I appreciate that I was given an opportunity to experience what Battle Operations gameplay is like without needing to engage in a free-to-play multiplayer game. Just because you know that, especially with it being free-to-play and just how, like, modern multiplayer games are, there's just such an annoying grind that goes with those games now. It's like, sometimes I just want... sometimes I don't want to have to suffer with, like, the bottom of the barrel shit for God knows how long until I either earn the better stuff naturally or just whale out the cash for it. Oh, damn. There we go. Nice. Like, the gameplay system of Battle Operation, though, like, with all the times I spent on it in Code Fairy, like, best I could say is that, like, there is a real ebb and flow that it has, where once you're on a roll and momentum is, like, of battle is in your direction, it feels great. But if you're on the receiving end of, like, an assault from, like, the opposing team and are just getting stunned left and right, it genuinely feels like the most aggravating thing ever. You know? Like, there are some games that do a lot better job of making it feel like even when you're getting your ass kicked, you still feel like it's not over, then you can still kind of pull back from it. But getting overwhelmed in battle operation systems really does feel like you just want to end everything. That's why I stopped playing. I got super angry when I was losing. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Like, that would happen. Like, it is a very hard swing towards one or the other. Like, there is no real in-between when it comes to battle operation. God. This cutscene is so silly to me for the notion of, like, why the hell would you do, like, these specific arm motions in your mobile suit? When it's like, you can just fucking... Like, see, look at that. Like the kind of the embarrassed scratching back of your head. It's like, you don't need to fucking do that. This is a real robot series. What the fuck? You can do that when you're in person. I know what the cockpit of a mobile suit looks like. Oh my god. Rule number 1 of piloting a mecha is to have fun. True. It's just, I don't know, like, I'm not even saying it as, like, it's a negative for this game. I just find it amusing that they decided to add that touch. Probably because they knew that they were making a game about, like, an all-female squad. During a very horrific war in this universe's time. Yeah, getting S's on Chapter 1 is, like, real simple all around. It's not as easy on some of the later ones, especially because of the like the sub goals that you have, like those challenges that I'd already completed. Completing them actually contributes to unlocking bonuses for use in a simulator, which is, it just lets you play actual matches of Battle Operation 2, but against CPUs. I've tried it, and it's more of a clusterfuck than it is here, because 5v5, where the entire opposing team and 4 of your teammates are all dumb as bricks AI, it makes it very hard to do anything strategic, if anything strategic at all, really. Like, your partner AI in the campaign in Noisy Fairy is generally a lot better about that, because they have specific routines that they follow based on what you do. Although it doesn't stop them from occasionally shooting you. It won't deal damage, there's no friendly fire, thankfully. But, you'll probably see it come up occasionally, but there is dialogue that will play if you accidentally get shot by your teammate, or you accidentally shoot another teammate. Is this like a newer game? It is. This came out in 2021. Yeah, 2021 was when it came out. It's PS4 and PS5. I'm only playing the base PS4 version because I bought the regular model before the Pro came out, and I personally cannot justify myself getting a PS5 for any reason. And credits. And as you might expect, with this having a very anime kind of presentation to it, obviously following the credits for the episode, there's going to be like a next time on. Like this whole plot presentation, it's like, They could have simply opted to make this like its own short anime series that would have aired during like any season out of the year. But they decided to make it a game because BB Studio has people there that have worked on plenty of Gundam games in the past, all built around the Universal Century timeline, and have like a pretty good understanding of how to like expand the tapestry of that. See, I was thinking of getting a PS5 at some point, but I don't think I'll do it. Don't have enough games that interest me to justify that purchase. Same, especially now that I have a PC, like a newer one, that was able to run Stranger of Paradise. Like, Final Fantasy Origin was literally the only reason I had to still consider getting a PS5, considering the laptop I had at the time would not have been able to run it well, and that game has a lot of optimization issues that, admittedly, they did get ironed out, a good chunk of them in, like, post-release updates. But, like, once all the DLC was out for Stranger of Paradise, and I just, like, legally acquired a copy on PC and played it that way, I was like, this is great. I now have no reason to ever get the PS5 at all.
地上戦線異常あり。戦火に照らされ、妖精たちは踊る。
Continue playing the story? Yes, we will. Got a PS5 is mostly as a media system, and I might pick up 16 in the future alongside Demon's Souls. Yeah, I mean, it's the sort of thing where, like, if I cared enough about Final Fantasy, I guess that would be a reason for me to like want the system. But like, I don't, and I'm not, like, speaking bluntly, I'm not shallow enough as a Devil May Cry fan to just want to play that game to get my DMC fix, because I know that, like, it's just not. Yeah, and Arian has the right idea. It is going to be on PC eventually anyway, so if I do want to check it out of curiosity, I can just wait for it then. It'll probably be able to run fine anyway. Again, like, I was real lucky getting the parts that I got to build a pretty beastly machine that I hope, you know, like, if it's able to last me all the way to like 2030, I'll feel pretty proud. Oh yeah, and just for this, you know, because I'd already seen like the opening and credits from like the first chapter, I'm gonna at least spare people and like not have it play every single fucking time. Yeah, if I want a DMC fix, I can play my own game, Assault Spy, or DMC, to be honest. True. Yeah. Bye, Sydney. Again. I feel like there needs to be a running tally in UC era media to see how many times they or recreate that exact fucking shot at the colony drop. Like, how many times has it happened? Yep, talking about characters like the Red Comet, Char Aznabel himself. It's real fun watching this after binging Gundam The Origins. Oh, yeah. And look at that, California base. We'll be there eventually. Because, like, not to spoil, if anything, I mean, but it's kind of a given considering that this is set in the latter months of the one-year war, but, this game's literally gonna end with, like, the ceasefire of the one-year war, and Zeon is not gonna come out of it, well. Like a lot of these monologues that you end up seeing with Killy just kind of show that she's, like, just one of, like, an example of, like, the members of Zeon who has, like, their head right on their shoulders because they quickly have get a strong understanding that this war is not going in their favor. What?
子供らしい趣味じゃないってことは分かってますよ。
Mia, you're never young or too old to be like extremely passionate and into your hobbies.
ブリンクマン技術少尉はツイマット社お墨付きの技術者だからな。ギャレット少佐も彼女の頭脳を高く評価している。そっかー、だから技術少尉なんだね。あれでもなんでパイロットやってるの？やってみろと言われまして、そのまま。少佐のお考えだ。ブリンクマン技術少尉は頭脳だけでなくパイロット適性もとても高かったからな。ハイブリッドなんだ。すっごいな、ミアは。さて、少佐からお前たちに命令だ。部隊の前衛となるコンビとして訓練してもらう。戦場では知識や情報分析力が優劣を決めることもある。
Ah, yes. More training covering tactics and other concepts that will inevitably be important and get like highlighted during the actual mission this episode. I've watched the anime. I know what to expect. これよりモビルスーツの姿勢について訓練を受けてもらう。訓練で使う武器は Yeah, like pretty much like the first third of the game has like a lot of like these sort of tutorial skirmishes before the actual mission that are all designed to kind of dull out like the nuances of Battle Operations gameplay. For instance, we have crouching. And naturally with this, we have not just crouching but also prone positions. Yeah, effectively taking up a defensive position. Like if you actually look at in the bottom right where the health readout is, you see attack and defense, like and the arrows above it. That shows that it's currently boosted. I also love the detail of note is some units such as tanks cannot crouch or go prone. Yeah, like attack remains boosted, but like admittedly, the game doesn't really give you a lot of positions where it feels like it's worth doing all the time. Mostly because like the damage boost that you get from it and defense boost is super marginal. That and also like crouching and going prone like does limit the radius at which you're able to like aim with the right stick. Oh yeah, here's something good in addition to like the boosting and melee stuff. We have a tackle. It uses up a lot of like our boost gauge when it activates, but it is very useful in certain situations, especially if you're trying to get out of something bad. Yeah, there's still the matter of vulnerability once it's done. Yeah, but this is like what we're about to do next, assuming I get the timing right, because I always feel like I miss it when I shouldn't, but it's a counter system. Ah, yeah, like so, see? Like that's real frustrating when that just doesn't want to work. Okay, come on. Ah, god damn it. Like, and I was just pressing the button by itself in neutral. Seriously, why the fuck is just a... It's not... Seriously, and that wasn't even lined up. Like, this is one of those things where it just leads to how, you know, occasionally frustrating battle operation can be. And I guess part of it is just like I'm just not doing like the tackle early enough, which is that's always my more annoying thing with these sort of counter mechanics. It's like the closer they are to the moment of where the attack actually connects is like, that's what I really prefer. Trying to do it way in advance, like relatively in advance, the same way something like, say, Sekiro does with its counter timing, because the parry is, it is not Royal Guard timing, which has always been the thing that kind of peeved me about that game, especially considering it came out the month of DMC5, which, you know, you could play as Dante with Royal Guard, and it feels like Royal Guard. Like, premeditated counters, not my preference. Oh yeah, and there's capturing beacons, like kind of like control points, another carryover from Battle Operation. And if you crouch, you can press the circle button to exit out of your mobile suit. There's not really much you can do in this other than just float around on a jetpack, but you need to be out of your mobile suit in order to capture these control points. Yep. Ascend, descend, high-speed movement. Yeah, and as the and in contrast, I guess, to kind of how moving a mobile suit works, it's like when the jetpack itself is activated, even if you're not moving, your meter fills up, and once it fills up and overheats, that's when you drop back down. Yeah. Like the ultimate benefit with like capturing these control points primarily is that with your squad mates, if they take enough damage that their suit gets destroyed, they can well, I mean, there's two benefits. Like the first thing Barbara's talking about is that staying in the range of the control point you captured will actually heal any damage. But like the other benefit is that like if your partners go down, they will respawn from the nearest control point. Yet unfortunately, for whatever reason, you know, like if your mobile suit gets destroyed, that's a game over for the mission, so you don't get any respawns. Obviously, this would not be the case if this were, you know, in multiplayer, where you would yourself would respawn from a control point, but that's as long as you've captured it beforehand. Alright, time for a fight with Mia. We're going up against a mobile suit with a type advantage. Let's go! He has hobbies. Destroy her. Don't be so mean to me. She just really loves giant robots. Who wouldn't love that in the person? Yeah. I could have done another counter, but considering how difficult it is for me to get the timing, it's more practical to just interrupt the melee attack with, like, a bazooka blast, and then set her up for a combo. Incredibly skilled despite a lack of live combat experience. Isn't that most mecha pilots? Really? They should have sealed the deal with like a giant wrestling bell. Yeah! Oh god, yeah, you're so right. Yeah, with a giant wrestling bell. But also just have like an announcer out of nowhere that just shouts, "Brain Buster!" That one comment made me have the Megas XLR theme song in my head. Yep. Living here in Jersey, fighting villains from afar. You gotta find first gear in your giant robot car. It is such a goddamn grind that we will never have like a Megas XLR game or anything else that like just delves into how fantastic that show was. Oh, the Midnight Fenrir Corps. There's another name drop. There's another callback to Zeonic Front. This game definitely likes to pull that a lot because of how we're playing on the side of Zeon. And Zeonic Front was all about you playing as the Midnight Fenrir, which were like a squad that played a major role in various operations on Earth during the 1-year war. Yeah, Zeonic Front is a person that like made a comment on like one of the earlier Mecha streams, gave it a nickname that is very apt, and that is I believe called it Rogue Spear 0079, because it's basically taking like the super real-time tactical nature of like a classic Rainbow Six game and applying it to mobile suits, because that's what you're doing. A lot of your time in Zeonic Front before going into the mission is just spent on the planning and like programming mission routes for like for each group in your squad. It's a really, really cool system, but it also gets really fucking hard. Because like you're just kind of, because the trial and error eventually comes from just figuring out how do I get through this mission with as efficiently as possible, and I do not like lose all of my teammates, because mobile suits are very fragile. They hit hard, but they don't take much in return. Anyway, mission briefing time.
現地では友軍のギャロップが待機しているわ。ギャロップが撃破されれば作戦は失敗。言うまでもなく最優先の防衛目標よ。防衛にあたり最大の脅威になるのはフライマンタなどの戦闘爆撃機ね。対空戦闘を考慮してマシンガンなどの装備を進めるわ。ただし航空部隊の進出には地上部隊も連携して動くはず。自分たちとギャロップ両方に気を配って戦うこと。いいわね。
Alright. Still using our same Zaku's. But we'll take up the suggestion and the... Oh wait, but no, I also forgot, because we have all these other... We now have access to more of our sub-weapons now. It still remembered all like my shortcuts I assigned them to. So we got bazooka, heat sword, head-mounted Vulcans, armed missile pods, and shotgun. Yeah, and our heat sword's level 3, so it's especially good for right now. Yeah, honestly, I'll stick with this. At the very least, my allies will do a pretty decent job of like shooting at any of the aerial vehicles, like if I'm not able to hit them myself. So let's go. And I fortunately do not have to worry about, like, the objectives again, like the bonus objectives, because I already got them the first time. You know? Like, if you can get an S rank with, like, the 3 stars above the emblem itself, that's how you know you fully completed a mission. Oh, they're such girls. It's wonderful. Friendship between girls as giant robots. That's the alternate title for this game. Oh, come on. When am I ever reckless? Okay, maybe a little. There's the gallop, but there's also the control point. Might as well go ahead and do it. Just capture it so we have it on hand. There we go. Oh, come on. Double kill. There we go. Using the piddly head Vulcans for something. Nice shot, Helena. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the other detail I like with this game and like in the HUD is that you always see like camera feeds of like your wingmen like in the cockpits. Yeah, just because you see it like, you know, them like reacting in real time to stuff that's just going on and like talking at any moment. Oh wait, they were directly behind us. What am I doing? I'm an idiot. Oh shit. Fuck. Come on. Ow. It's not like a Zaku at all. Okay. Yeah. We're still during the part of the war where, you know, Zeon's still feeling a bit proud about the fact that they have mobile suits first. And they're like, what did the Federation scum think that they're able to do to us? Never mind the fact that, oh wait, some neurotic kid from a colony just got in control of like a new mobile suit. Oh, he's wrecking our shit. Oh, fuck. Careful. Ha! They shot one of their own. That's fucking great. Oh, fuck. And that's also the other thing that's, like, really frustrating and annoying when it comes to... Like, they give you the ability to do a counter move, like, if an enemy is going to do melee, but that counter just is not going to happen and is useless if you fucking are already in a stun state anyway. So it's like, what's the point? Shotgun to the face. Nice. Ah, damn it. And that's also the other thing that's real frustrating is because of how premeditated you have to be with, like, your jump jets in order to gain elevation. Doing it, like, as a reactive thing in the middle of combat, kind of a bad idea. Whew. So far, so good. Yeah, it was still managed to clear with like 70% HP left, like right at the cutoff point. Oh well. We got mobile suits, fantastic. Look at myself, I can take on anybody. Huh, that's why mobile suits coming this way. Oh. It's just one of those instances of the phrase, why do I hear boss music? Oh my god. Again, this is why Alma just is like one of my favorite characters in Gundam just from this game. Alright. Time for part 2. Combat stress.
リードパイロットっていうのはね、普段特別にやることなんてないの。あなたがやることはたった一つよ。仲間が困った時に導いてあげること。
導くってどこへですか？
仲間が生き残る道へ。
キリーさん、多分今ですよね。私の仕事。
Words of wisdom.
はいはい、二人とも落ち着いて。ミアならできる。ヘレナ、根性見せよう。そんなことわかってるよ。外れてもいいから思ったこと全部言って。私ミアを信じる。ごめんなさい。わかりました。 弾道から見て敵は北東。初弾より着弾精度が低下。移動しながら撃ってきてる。多分連度が低いか。こちらを侮って接近して確実に仕留めようとしてる。分かった。ヘレナ、ミアをお願い。ミア、敵の正確な位置をつかみ次第教えてね。
So here's how the second part of the mission goes, with the little gimmick of our radar is mostly useless, so we actually have to rely on, you know, what Mia is basically estimating based on the sonar. That, and we get also, like, little blips through all the interference of where the enemy's position actually is as we get closer.
おい、闇雲に突っ込んでどういうつもりだ。敵が近づいてるならギャロップは長くは持たない。ミアの指示ですぐ対応できる位置にいないと。
That's what we're gonna do.
ミアはすごいんだよ。理由になってねえよ。たく、とんだリーダーだ。命がいくつあっても足りねえぞ。アルマさん、無茶しすぎです。バカですよ、それって。ひどい。情報送ります。オッケー。ヘレナも狙撃できそうなやつをよろしく。あ、随時情報は更新します。
There we go. Oh shit, we got the beefy boy over here. We got ourselves a gun tank. Ow. And as you'd expect, they have a type... Or, oh wait, no, they have a type disadvantage. Right, my mistake. There we go. Oh, that's right, I forgot to mention, if you double tap the boost, you actually do get, like, an evasive dodge. That's the idea. Come on, get him. Ah. Oh, well. All right, let's take this beacon just so we're ready. Saw them land over there. Let's head on over. All right, we got it. We got it. Yeah, there's one behind us, and it's down. First, let's take another beacon. Oh yeah, I could see them up ahead. Whoa! Oh jeez, that was a very close call. Oh god damn it. Oh yeah, that's something that feels good. Like when you knock them down and you quickly can switch over to something like the bazooka and get like a ground hit. That's when you know you've succeeded. Okay. Next. Oh! Saw one drop. The cars are not being blown up as I run over them. 0 out of 10 game. Nah, I'm just fucking kidding. Oh! Ah, fuck. Well, they're doing a pretty good job covering for me, even as like getting my ass kicked. Ah, damn it.
Get angry. You hate my guts, don't you?
Yeah.
Get mad. Get mad. Get
Yeah.
mad. Get so mad. It drives you mad.
Love it. Yeah. When in doubt, just call back upon the teachings of Master Asia. Nicely done. You pulled through for us, Mia. Good job. Again, for context, this is September in the war. Federation's only now catching up to mobile suit technology that Zeon has had and is already surpassing it. Except its own government, because it's not gonna last long once UC-80 rolls around. Noisy orcs. There you go. And I mean, even then, Noisy Fairy was already, like, a term that was given to this team. Like, it was the team name given to them as a joke because nobody expected the idea of, like, an all-female Zeon unit to actually work. And that's chapter 2. I think with, like, how long the story stuff goes in all these chapters, I think I got enough energy for the chapter after this. And then I can call it for today. I think if I do something like 3 episodes per stream session, I think that'll be a decent amount. That out of context sounds sexist. Yeah. Well, I was just I was just describing, like what the in-universe context for it was. Because blame Zeon for being sexist, if anything. Did Noisy Fairies effectively utilize girl power fighting for Gear and Zabi? Yeah. And I mean, like, and especially because, like, this is Giran we're talking about, and this whole, and, like, his sister is the one who basically greenlit this squad. She greenlit, like, a whole lot of the other different squads that participated in the one-year war. Like, the Midnight Fenrir were also her creation. It's just, this got more scrutiny from people because it's like, an all-female military team? Are you nuts? Said Giran, who's thinking that they would just get themselves killed because he has no problem just sacrificing everyone else in his quest to become Space Hitler. I was aware that was an in-universe thing, but when it comes to military, then this isn't all that far-fetched from what I observe in the real world. True. Yeah. there's still a whole lot of that sexism prevalent, like everywhere, like in a lot of institutions, even still.
じゃヘレナも一緒ね行こう。おいまだ解散とは言ってない。
Poor Barbara, she's trying to like fill the role of being like the actual proper firm like military superior, but it's like she's horribly misplaced in like what is clearly just like everyone just treating this like it's a oh yeah, Rip Garma. Yeah, you can clearly tell just based on this info, like probably guessing at what point in the original anime that this game is taking place in, if it wasn't already clear. But yeah, Barbara just like comes off as so horribly misplaced in what should be a military like base, but instead it's just a girls' dorm. Exactly. Yeah, like this. Again, this game knows how to handle like the portrayal of Zeon right, even if it's like even with the focus on like the personal, like the characters themselves that it chooses to have like in the center of the story. You know, it at least knows that it's these characters and that they themselves aren't like the full embodiment of everything behind like Zeon's entire mission statement and whatnot. Oh yeah, and there we are reusing voice lines from Giran Zabi in his speech over Garma's death. But yeah, like the game understands that Zeon was in the wrong with like this whole war and that they lost for very good reason. So the personal side of the story from this point on is becoming more and more about we need to survive this hell. We need to live long enough until the ceasefire happens.
「連邦の部隊規模は割り出せた？」
いえ、まだです。しかし、敵がシアトルに進行中という情報は確かなようです。
シアトル、戦闘で廃墟と化した町。キャリフォルニアベース進行への共闘補としては悪くない場所ではあるけど。
Good old reuse of animation cells from the original anime, just fill in parts of your story.
敵部隊の数も目的も分からずに奴らを叩けなど不可能ではありませんか。
とにかく手を考えましょう。みんなのアイデアも聞きたいわ。伝えておいて。
はい、わかりました。
あなたは決して悪い子ではなかった。でも、いい子が生き残るとは限らないのよね、ガルマ。
Oh yeah, this mission's a fun one. It's got a pretty good title as well. Also appropriate since we're already in October. I guess this both in game and in real time as well. It's the middle of October 2023. And Tirnanog is getting all the Halloween decorations set up. Because goddammit, you have to have something to keep your mind off the horrors of war.
次は狙撃作戦って聞いた？
今その作戦を考えてるところですよ。
え、あ、そうなの？ごめん、思いっきり寝坊しまして。
話を戻すけどさ、敵部隊の規模がわからないんじゃ一概に狙撃ってわけにはいかないよな。
私の腕次第ということなら望むところだ。小細工はいらないさ。
Yeah, but we're not all snipers, Helena.
察して。
ハロウィンか。懐かしいな。
いやー、これやってたら夜更かししちゃってさ。
私が住んでた場所じゃこういう祭りが盛んだったんだ。
楽しかった？
どうだったかな。トリックオアトリート、お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらするぞか。
Damn.
そっか、私思いついちゃったかも。
お、なんだ言ってみろ。
数の多い敵を狙撃するなら硫黄銅が必要だよね。
まあそりゃな。敵をか
This plan is just amazing. What's about to be described?
はい、私天才でした。
She is so goddamn proud talking about
私
it.
の話を聞いてくれる？
マジで言ってんのか？
And we'll actually know about the details for real when it comes to the actual mission briefing.
少なくともか乱はできるかも。
What? They gotta keep you in suspense somehow.
ヘレナはどう思う？
ああ、すまない。悪くはないと思う。
よーし、キリさんへの提案はこのアルムシティルナーにお任せあれ。
とその前にそろそろ訓練の時間ですね。
少佐への提案はその後だな。アルマ、行くぞ、訓練だ。
Alright. More training. That time of the day. Almost should have been an admiral, clearly. It would have been a 2-year war at least. Yep, we already know about how bazookas work. The ideal way to use them is to aim at their feet so that you can hit them with splash damage. Just kind of going over how this stuff works in case you forgot the finer details. Oh yeah, and this is also covering something I already knew how to do because of playing this months ago. Bazooka melee combo. Like so. Ah, oh, damn it, they weren't. They were still invulnerable during that. Whoops. Got it. I always worry sometimes when I see the model kind of shift over to the left or right if the attack's gonna miss or not, but thankfully the hitbox on it is extremely wide. Like, this really is, like even with the weird limitations that kind of get on my nerves occasionally, like, I do really appreciate how thought out the systems of battle operation are that allows for this sort of stuff. And that it does feel genuinely great when you do pull it off. Oh yeah, here we go. We finally got pilot skills. And because I've beaten the game before and leveled up, that also means I do have access to quite a few more skills that you're supposed to start with. There we go. So with this skill, Fairy Step, we're able to do emergency evades without causing our thrusters to overheat too much. So we can actually do it way more often now. And it even gives us a general buff to our speed, as you can see with the arrow in the bottom right. And keeping in theme with the fact that this is the noisy fairies, yes, all of the skill names pull from like actual fairy names and whatnot. Yep. And the last thing we obviously have is battle commands. So you then just cycle through that way. Either come with me, go get him, or hold this position. We'll choose go get him, and hit right again. Like so. I forget if this tutorial is also going to introduce like the other major gameplay concept that is specific to Code Fairy or not. Or if this is just where the training for this chapter is going to end. Yeah, okay, yeah, it is. Yeah, because there's another thing that I think next chapter that it introduces, but for the sake of keeping the stream concise, we're not going to be able to show it. But just as a preview of what it is, Code Fairy takes the whole, like, stun stagger concept that is the bedrock of this game's systems and turns it into a combo system quite literally, where let's say you start by like doing an attack that staggers an enemy. If one of your partners is in range and is set up to do so, which they'll generally do like automatically, they'll do a follow-up attack. And then the other AI partner will do a follow-up attack of their own, and then that means you're open to do another follow-up attack of your own. So the idea is it's chaining staggers one after the other in a way where the opponent has no chance to basically escape out of it. Much like in fighting games, similar to a combo. And yes, this is almost planned. We're basically going to be using dummy balloons to trick and lure out the Federation envoys and lure them into explosive traps. Operation Trick or Treat. Only someone like Alma could have come up with this.
信じましょうこの子たちを
There you go. Happy Halloween, motherfuckers. Yeah. Trucks are the target. A lot of mobile suits as escorts surrounding it. Naturally, there's a reason to set up diversionary tactics. And I like this because this does highlight, well, like the mini-map will also show it as well, but it's great to see that they do show exactly where all the mines and the dummies are, essentially, which are more like spotlights in this case. ヘレナは狙撃ポイントから敵部隊を攻撃。今回はアルマたちとの連携は行わず狙撃に努めてもらうわ。攻撃目標のトレーラーを逃してしまうと。Oh yeah, don't let the convoy leave the mission area. There obviously has to be a fail condition besides getting blown up naturally. Yeah, we're ready. Let's go to the pilot menu just to show off like what the skills that we have are. Yeah. Code Fairy for Alma. Mia, I have set Lilliputian patch because it's basically a heal. It's a heal command that is a nice bonus to have in addition to the waypoints healing you. Yeah, Oberon, One-Eyed Jaeger, Fairy Domain. Yeah, and this one's really good because, yeah, literally what it says, give ally units type advantage against enemy units. Basically, regardless of the actual unit type itself. Which, that's great for me. Oh yeah, and that's right, and I only did get an A rank on the first half. Well, now that our mobile suits are somewhat more powerful, maybe we can pull it off this time. Maybe we'll get an S rank. Let's see.
第一種戦闘配置了解
All right. You're asking this even though you came up with the fucking plan.
今回用意したトラップは2種類投光器を使ってダミー
Yep.
映像を
Yeah, dummy image is just literally like a... it's literally a projector. And then the mines have like a balloon dummy on top of it. They're really simple tricks, but they're meant to be like, you know, you see it from a distance enough, it'll be enough to like fool any of like the Federation soldiers that are on their way.
投光器は近くのビルにジオン軍のモビルスーツを映し出します。作動は短時間ですが、か乱効果が期待できます。敵が突然現れたり消えたりしたら絶対驚くよね。デコイの方はモビルスーツに似たバルーンを使ったか乱になります。このバルーンを破壊すると爆発が起こり、モビルスーツの体勢を崩します。
The balloon's explosive.
トラップの位置はレーダーに表示されます。黄色のマーカーが投光器のある場所、緑色のマーカーがデコイの場所です。うまくトラップの位置まで敵を誘導して一網打尽にしよう。はい。
This is otherwise like a... Yeah, like what they're describing with these traps, they do work exactly as they're shown, and like taking advantage of it properly. This is a pretty good mission. Like I do like what it's setting up and like kind of getting you to engage with within the system mechanics.
セッティングは完了した。予定通りだ。
よし、イルメラさんありがとう。ソナーに艦、目標と思われる部隊が接近中。
Yeah, that's a lot. That's like 7 gems and a gun tank. Like they are ready to just protect anything with their lives.
トレーラーを護衛しているようです。
よしトレーラーを最優先の攻撃目標に設定護衛のモビルスーツを排除しつつトレーラーをやる
敵戦闘、作戦ラインを越えました。位置についてください。
All right. Operation Trick or Treat has begun.
Yoshi, 作戦開始だよ。ヘレナ、あなたの腕を信じてるね。
その前にさ言っときたいことがあるんだけど
何？
死ぬなよ
当たり前だよ。
You'll be safe too, Helena. All right. We still got time. Can get a waypoint captured at the same time.
攻撃はまだよ。トラップ設置エリアまで十分に引きつけて敵の構成からするとタンクタイプ以外
I
のモビ
wasn't
ルスーツなら
close in
お
enough.
そら
That's
く追
odd.
ってくると思うわ。
Okay.
トラップで敵が混乱したら攻撃を加えながら次のトラップへ誘導
Alright.
敵の戦力を分断させながら確保撃
It's
破
a whole lot of them, but we're gonna make it happen.
ジオンの待ち伏せだ。火器を応戦しろ。
慌ててる慌ててる。ちょっかい出して誘導。行くよ。撃破。
敵は大部隊だぞ。撤退を進言する。山で騙されるな。
Damn.
ここに敵はいない。デコイだ。
Yeah. Yeah, it's working. It's working. Oh shit.
気を抜くな。戦闘は始まったばかりだぞ。
Especially now that we got like much higher level weapons and mobile suits. Yeah, at this point even, it's like, I don't even need to worry as much about the traps because my Zaku's just so much better. Take that, gun tank. Woo! Look at that, nothing to it. Let's take the other waypoint. Well, we still did take like quite a bit of damage. It is what it is. Although I forget if this will be like enough to screw up the like the S rank conditions, as it were. Hopefully not. I think it should be fine. Let's actually get back around here. You know, we'll keep indulging the mission plan and taking advantage of all the dummies. Load the shotgun, because just why not? Take us a while. More transports, probably the last. Hopefully it is. Sometimes the unconventional tactics are the best tactics. Okay, yeah, 2 targets. I do think this is like the last set. I'll even try and get them with like a shot from above. There we go. It's, yeah, all the bickering. It's great. You know what? I think it's time to use some pilot skills. Oh, yeah. And heal the damage for good measure. All right. A bit reckless on my part, admittedly, but what can you do? Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Come on, let's lure him towards the mine. Ha! Take that. Yeah! Let's go. Nice! Think that's all of them? Yeah, it is! Operation Trick or Treat is a rousing fucking success. Probably still... Yeah, okay, yeah, I still fucked up on the damage taken. Oh well, what can you do? I kind of made a decision, like, as I was playing through this and got near the end, that despite being quite a completionist, I don't think this game is going to be worth my time trying to unlock everything in it. again, just because of the way that this game's systems can be frustrating at times when they don't go your way. So I just kind of felt like this is a game where, like, if I ever decide to play or just replay, it's only gonna be for, you know, just for fun. Oh shit.
叩きつけてやる。シオンの悪魔どもにこの恨みを。
何？くらえ！ヘレナ、下がって。なんだと？私が引きつける。ミアをお願い。
All right. We got a tougher Federation pilot to go up against. Our rival, as it were. And she is quite fucking angry. Justifiably so, to be perfectly honest. Especially because of the whole colony drop thing. Oh, damn it, it hit the shield instead. But it destroyed it. Oh, come on! Okay. Colony drop was what, 10 months ago? Those Feddies just can't let things go. Well, considering that it was a colony drop that, like, resulted in the deaths of your family, then, yeah, that is very good reason to be mad fucking upset that you basically lost everyone you knew in the wake of, like, a war crime. Oh! Good job knocking over your own ally, idiot. Oh, damn it. I was trying to activate her skill. There it is. Okay. Oh, that dialogue. Anytime it crops up after, like, you get shot by someone on your team or you accidentally shoot them. Okay. Got it. There we go. You know, for all the friendly fire that happens when playing this game, it is at least a blessing that like friendly fire does not cause you damage. That would have been so frustrating if it did otherwise. Yeah, let's just keep weeding out like these Federation troops so we don't have any distractions on like the main. There we go. Oh, I could have actually done like a downward swing instead. That would have saved. Ha! Look at that! Their legs are damaged so much that they'll trip anytime they try to do like an evasive action. That's important. Like, it hasn't really come up as much like on my end to be like a something to worry about, but there is damage that you sustain to like your head and leg areas. You know, like there are separate meters for it in the bottom right of the HUD. And like, if those do sustain enough damage, then that will impact the performance of functions related to those specific parts, you know? Alright, there's Lilith and one other. Let's try and sneak around if we can. I'll go for the support, because that's who I'm strong against.
胸が苦しい。どうしてこんなこと初めてだ。頑張れ、私。ここは私がやるしかないんだ。
She seems quite sensitive to the emotions of other people. Yeah, it's bloodlust! There we go. The support's down. Now it's 2 against 1. Oh! Yeah. They can still sometimes, like, dodge out of, like, those melee combos. But your shield's gone. What you got, bitch? Yeah. Huh. Oh, damn it. I should have... But yeah, being extremely sensitive to other people's emotions, almost like on a psychic wavelength level. Huh. It's almost like she's, a new type, whatever it's called. Nice. That was a very thorough curb stomping. I'm sure it's probably nothing and will never come up again. Exactly. For real though, you could probably guess what the deal is with Alma. But I at least like how the way in which that this game kind of like handles and portrays that aspect of her compared to how I feel like other characters in a similar situation would be portrayed. Ah, hey, Barry. Character appearing only in this game. And is probably, I'd say, like the unsung best character of the game, if only from like if you're grading all of these characters on just a scale of how level-headed they are. He's a much more reasonable fellow, even when, like, fighting in, like, such a horrible war. No, and I still took a lot of damage during that. Oh, well. But hey, we at least made it back home for the Halloween festivities.
あなたたち。すみません、ご心配をおかけしました。 よよこれどうしたんです？
ゴブリン娘たちにお裾分けだって聞いたんだけど、
Earth Federation should have had more capes for their uniforms, to be honest. It would have improved morale, really.
ギャロップのおじさん、あの時の
人助けはしておくものですね。
ああ、ちょっとフライング。
いいからお前も食え食え。
ヘレナ、これ全部食べるの？
作戦成功のお祝いね。今日は肩の力を抜いて楽しみ
From
ましょう。
fairies to goblins to now witches.
乾杯。
乾杯
Witches? What's next? Witches from Mercury? No, just side 3. For real though, later on, like, as you continue through the game, like, the reputation of the noisy fairies, like, basically progresses to the point that from the Federation's perspective, they do start calling them witches.
みんなのことを大好きになっていく自分が分かった。私はこれから先、何度でもこうしてみんなと同じ時間を過ごせると信じて疑わなかった。でも誰にも言い出せなかったけれど、心の隅っこの方であの戦場で耳にした誰かの声がずっとずっと
Gotta help them if they have to fight Amuro in this game. I don't know how close to follow the canon, so it might not happen. I can confidently say it doesn't happen, considering that this is like,
得体の知れない何か。
yeah, because like during this point, it's still like
その気持ち
what Amuro's doing isn't really anywhere on like the North America front, because like Turnanog's location is in like relative proximity to California base. And of course, since this will go up to the end of the 1-year war, Amuro will already be in space anyway, so we don't have to deal with him.
しかし隊員たちの生活態度はなっていない。ゆるい、ゆるすぎる。次回、母に注意のドクトリン。これを機に全員鍛え直してやるぞ。
Oh yeah.
妖精たちは踊る。
Barbara's gonna get her moment next episode. And for that matter, next stream, because 3 chapters, all of which, you know, are pretty long. I mean, like, they go for a lot longer than, like, a standard episode of an actual anime. I think that's, like, a good stopping point for right now. It's funny, though, because, like, because, like, when this game was released, actually, it was an episodic release, funny enough. Like, the game was basically split into 3 chunks. You bought the first chunk, which was like the first 5 chapters, and then like a week or 2 later, they released the second chunk, which contained chapters 6 and 10, and then another couple weeks, the final 3rd chunk, which had like all the remaining chapters after, which is not too dissimilar, funny enough, from like another Gundam game way back, several console generations in the past, where they did a similar episodic release called The Blue Destiny. It was a funny enough, although in that case they didn't have digital distribution, so you did actually have to buy 3 separate discs for the Sega Saturn. But again, that's part of like what makes me appreciate this game, is that I see the bits of like that legacy from people that worked on The Blue Destiny all the way back in the mid-90s, still, like, contributing to the Gundam series with games like this. It's just really cool to see. This game is neat. I always have my specific critiques and kind of thoughts on what I think about the gameplay system of Battle Operation in the grand scheme of Gundam games, and, like, where they have succeeded or failed. But this is at least on the upper end of like good gameplay systems for Gundam. Just goes to show, it's like if you're actually willing to dig deep, even into the games where like they may not have been localized back in the day, you're gonna find kind of amid all of like the trash and low budget cash grabs, that there are some games that people put out where they clearly cared and tried their best. But that was fun. Next 3 chapters of Code Fairy will resume on Wednesday at around pretty much the same time that this did. And then for the foreseeable future, on like the Wednesdays and Saturdays where there isn't a main Year of the Mecha stream, this will be taking its place and just working on a playthrough of this. So hopefully it will only take about like 5, maybe 6 streams to get through and adequately show off what I want to demonstrate with this game. Regardless, it'll be a couple of weeks until you get to see that mobile suit that is currently on screen in action, because it is a thing of beauty. Alright. Thanks everyone for stopping by to watch. See you for the next Code Fairy stream on Wednesday. Take care now.
Game over.